Exercise 2.6. In this exercise, we will learn a very important skill that is called a pivot table. The pivot table you will find it very useful in your internship later on. But now, even though it's not a major part in this syllabus or in this course, but I want to introduce you how to use it, and later you will have several mock exams to practice with it, which goes quite deep. But for now, we just look at the exercise 2.6 and figure out how to start with it. So here we have a small data set, have 3 columns called data, months, and amount invoices received. So if we want to convert this table into the analytical table that you see on the syllabus, we will use the pivot table function. So before we use the pivot table function, first we need to select the whole table in order to have input for the pivot table. Or we can just select A1 if that table is not interrupted. Then so that means if we don't have any empty lines in between, then we can just use the cell A1 to select everything. So let's go ahead and find the pivot table function that's under Insert, Tables, and here we have pivot table. Click on it. You see when I put the cell on A1, it automatically selects the whole range. And we want the pivot table report to be in the new worksheet. That's fine. Click OK. Now we have a new worksheet. You probably want to rename it. Just feel free to double click on this and then you can rename it. And now we have an empty table and also a new interface probably you never seen before. That's a pivot table fields. And here we have our 3 column data, months, and amount received. And if we choose the data automatically become a value in the rows. So we have A, B, C in the row. And if we click on months, it automatically adds to the row. But it looks a little bit too complicated. Let's move the months to the column. You can just drag and drop it to the column. And we have 2 months value here. So this one is not needed. We can delete this. So remove. Okay, so we have in the row data ABC and in the column January, February, etc. So in the values, we probably want the amount. So we can drag it to here. Now we have what we see on the syllabus, exactly the same, only that this one is smaller, but it doesn't matter. So the row is data and the column is months, the value that we have here. So if we can play around and change the order of data and months, and you will also have a very clean table but a very different interface. So let's just stick it to what the example shows on the syllabus, and now we have the table. So hopefully with this exercise that you get familiar with how to start with pivot table, and later we will dive a little bit deeper into it. This is exercise 2.6. I will see you in the next exercise.